It began, as most wonderful and foolish ideas do, over a lukewarm pint in a pub that smelled of rain and history. The notion was simple, almost childishly so. Could one walk across London, from one edge to another, without ever setting foot upon a road, not a street, not an avenue, not even a quiet little mews? It sounded utterly preposterous, a challenge thrown down against the very grain of the city. London is a creature of tarmac and paving stones, a sprawling web of routes designed to move people along predictable paths. To defy this, to seek a path of one's own, felt like a declaration of independence from the modern world. It was a mad, beautiful, and thoroughly impractical proposition, and therefore I was immediately captivated by its charm. The very thought sent a thrill through me, a jolt of pure, unadulterated adventure. Imagine it, a journey not of miles but of wit and discovery. The city I thought I knew so well would become an uncharted wilderness. Every park would be a vast plain, every canal a winding river, every forgotten alley a hidden canyon. This wasn't about getting from A to B. It was about rejecting the map drawn by others and creating my own. It was a quest to find the wild heart that still beats beneath the concrete ribs of the metropolis. A pilgrimage through the spaces that London has forgotten. The goal was not just to cross the city, but to truly see it, to experience it as a landscape rather than a grid. The prospect was daunting, of course. To forsake the road is to invite chaos. You are stepping off the grid, quite literally. You are choosing the bramble over the pavement, the muddy towpath over the clean sidewalk. There would be dead ends, insurmountable walls, and moments of deep frustration. The city, in its relentless modernity, does not take kindly to those who wander from its designated lines. It is a place built on order and efficiency, and our quest was to be a celebration of glorious inefficiency. We would be explorers in our own backyard, pioneers of the pointless, charting a course that no one else had ever thought to tread. It was a truly romantic notion, born of a deep love for the city's hidden corners. And so the seed of this grand, slightly bonkers expedition was planted. It would be a test of endurance, yes, but more than that, a test of perception. It would require us to look at London not as a series of destinations connected by roads, but as a continuous flowing landscape of opportunity. We would have to learn to read the city's secret language, to find the gaps and the forgotten ways through. It was a challenge to our bodies, our minds, and our very sense of place within this sprawling, magnificent beast. The map would be our enemy, the compass our friend, and the spirit of adventure our only true guide on this ridiculous and wonderful journey. Where does one even begin such a journey? The obvious answer lies in the city's green and blue arteries. London is blessed with a surprising amount of open space, if you know where to look for it. The royal parks are the great green oceans of this landscape. You could spend half a day crossing Hyde Park and Kensington Gardens alone, a magnificent expanse of grass and trees where the roar of traffic fades to a distant hum. Then there are the heaths, Hampstead and Blackheath, wild and untamed places that feel a world away from the city centre. These are the starting points, the vast, road-free territories that form the backbone of any such expedition. They are the easy parts, the grand boulevards of our unconventional route. But the real magic, the true test of this challenge lies in the connections between these larger spaces. This is where the canals come in. London's network of waterways is a relic of another age, a secret motorway for barges that now serves as a tranquil corridor through the heart of the urban sprawl. The Regent's Canal, for instance, offers a glorious, uninterrupted path that snakes its way through the north of the city. Walking its towpath is like travelling through a different dimension. You pass by the back of grand houses, industrial wastelands and colourful boat communities, all while remaining completely insulated from the chaos of the streets above. These canals are the hidden veins, pumping life into the forgotten parts of the city. Beyond the parks and canals, the journey becomes a game of urban archaeology. We would need to hunt for the lost footpaths, the forgotten rights of way that have been swallowed by development but still exist on old maps. These are the ghost paths of London, trails that connect one patch of green to another. We would follow the course of buried rivers like the Fleet or the Tyburn, their routes often marked by strange dips in the landscape or lines of parks and public gardens. We would look for the gaps in the city's armour, the slivers of land alongside railway tracks, the undeveloped patches of scrubland, the public squares and churchyards that offer sanctuary from the tarmac. This is where the city reveals its layered history. You might find yourself on a path that was once a Roman road or a medieval track for driving livestock to market. These ancient ways have a stubborn habit of surviving, even if they are now just a muddy desire line across a patch of grass between two housing estates. Each step would be a discovery, a connection to a past that lies just beneath the surface of the present. The challenge would be to string these disparate elements together, to weave a single, unbroken thread through the complex tapestry of the city. It would be a puzzle of immense scale, with the pieces scattered all around us, just waiting to be found. This isn't my first dance with the city's hidden side. I recall a time years ago when a friend and I decided to follow the Circle Line on foot, but entirely above ground. It was a different kind of challenge, but it taught me a valuable lesson about the city's three-dimensional nature. We found ourselves scrambling up public staircases that led to nowhere, crossing footbridges over roaring train tracks, and navigating the strange elevated walkways of the Barbican. We were like urban mountaineers, scaling the heights of the city instead of its peaks. That journey revealed a London I had never seen, a city of rooftops, gantries, and bafflingly complex pedestrian systems that exist just out of sight of the average commuter. Another memory that fuels this new fire is of a night spent exploring the Docklands before its grand regeneration. It was a landscape of urban decay and melancholy beauty. We walked for hours among cavernous, empty warehouses that smelled of rust and river water. The silence was profound, broken only by the lapping of the Thames against decaying wooden piers and the cry of a lone gull. It felt like we were trespassing in a ghost city, a place that time had abandoned. There was a thrill in that desolation, a sense of being the sole witnesses to the slow, quiet death of an industrial era. We found beauty in the peeling paint, the shattered windows, and the weeds that grew defiantly from cracks in the concrete. These past escapades were rehearsals, in a way, for the grand performance to come. They taught me to look for the unofficial paths, the routes created not by planners but by human instinct. People will always find the shortest distance between 2 points, even if it means wearing a muddy track through a pristine lawn. These desire lines are the footpaths of the people, and they would be our guides. They are a testament to our collective quiet rebellion against the imposed order of the city. Following them feels like you are part of a secret society, sharing a path with countless anonymous Londoners who also chose to step off the pavement for a moment. Each of these small adventures built up a mental map of a different London, not the one on the AZ, but a personal, anecdotal one. A map of climbable walls, though we won't be doing that this time, of fences with convenient gaps, of forgotten public stairwells and quiet churchyards perfect for a moment's rest. It is a map drawn from experience, curiosity, and a healthy disregard for convention. This new challenge, to cross the entire city without roads, feels like the ultimate expression of that spirit. It is the final exam, for which all these other urban wanderings have been the preparation, a chance to apply all the lessons learned from ghosts of adventures past. There is honestly a peculiar joy in being invisible in a city of millions. To move through London on its hidden pathways is, well, to become a ghost in the machine. You are there, but not there. You can hear the thunder of a double-decker bus just over a wall, but the people on it are completely oblivious to your existence. You are in a parallel world, a quiet green ribbon running through the heart of the noise. This feeling of being an unseen observer is, without a doubt, one of the greatest rewards of such a journey. You get to watch the city breathe from its secret corners, witnessing the small, unscripted moments that make up its life without being part of the main spectacle. This invisibility, it requires a certain mindset. It's not about hiding or being sneaky, it's about blending in with the background, becoming part of the urban scenery. You learn to move quietly and deliberately to respect the spaces you're passing through. When you're on a canal towpath, you're just another walker. When you are crossing a park, you are just another person enjoying the green space. The art lies in stringing these legitimate presences together, moving from one role to another seamlessly. You're a park goer 1 minute, a riverside rambler the next, a quiet visitor in a cemetery the minute after that. You're a chameleon, adapting to the social landscape as much as the physical one. The thrill of this is immense. It's a quiet internal adventure. While thousands of people are stuck in traffic jams or crammed onto tube carriages, you are having a completely different experience of the same city. You are finding tranquility where they find stress, discovery where they find monotony. There's a subtle sense of superiority, a feeling of having cracked a code that no one else even knows exists. You see a harried commuter rushing down a busy street, and honestly you feel a sense of pity, for they are missing the serene canal path that runs just 50 feet away, completely hidden from their view. You are in on the city's best-kept secret. This sense of being unnoticed also heightens your senses. Without the constant distraction of traffic and crowds, you start to notice the smaller details. You hear the bird song in a patch of scrubland next to a railway line. You smell the wild garlic growing on a riverbank in the shadow of a skyscraper. You see the intricate patterns of graffiti on a wall that is only visible from a forgotten footpath. You become more attuned to the environment, more present in the moment. You are not just passing through the city, you are actively engaging with it, reading its subtle signs and appreciating its hidden beauty. In a world where everyone is clamoring to be seen, there is a profound power in the art of being unseen. Every great game needs rules, and our adventure is no exception. In fact, the rules are what make it a challenge, rather than an act of simple trespass. The first and most important rule is absolute no roads. This includes any surface designed for motor vehicles, from motorways to quiet residential streets. Pavements running alongside roads are also forbidden. The second rule is a matter of respect. No private property. This means no back gardens, no private courtyards, and no scaling of fences into places we are not welcome. We are explorers, not burglars. This rule honestly forces creativity, making the puzzle harder and far more rewarding to solve. The challenge is to use only publicly accessible land. The third rule is one of common sense: no illegal areas. This means no active railway lines, no military land, and no construction sites. The goal is adventure, not a court appearance or a trip to the hospital. These rules define the boundaries of our playing field. They transform the journey from a reckless scramble into an elegant problem-solving exercise. It's a test of route finding, of map reading, and of respecting the city and its inhabitants. The constraints are what give the adventure its shape and its meaning. Without them, it would be easy to simply cut through someone's garden. With them, we are forced to find the ingenious, legitimate way around. The risks, even within these rules, are not insignificant. There is the physical risk of a twisted ankle on an uneven path or a slip on a muddy bank. There is the risk of confrontation with overzealous security guards or park wardens who may not understand the noble purpose of our quest. You might be questioned, told you are in the wrong place, or simply viewed with suspicion. Then there is the biggest risk of all failure, the possibility that the city will win, that we will be faced with an impassable barrier, a river with no footbridge, a new development that has erased an old path, and be forced to admit defeat. That is a real and humbling prospect, but oh, the rewards. The spoils of this particular victory are not material. They are the stories we will gather, the sights we will see, and the profound sense of accomplishment. The reward is in the discovery of a hidden waterfall in a tiny park, the taste of a flask of tea on a forgotten bench overlooking the city, the shared laughter at a ridiculous dead end. It is the feeling of connecting the dots, of weaving a single, unbroken line of footsteps across the vast map of London. To complete such a journey would be to know the city in a way that few ever will. It would be to have walked its secret paths and earned its secrets. And that, for any true adventurer, is a prize beyond measure.